Okay, well, let's get straight into it. America is the chessboard. We are playing chess with checkers. The opposing side has the chess pieces. We have the checker pieces. The opposing side has a defensive line. They have all their pawns pushed up. On a regular basis, we would not force against this defensive line because we have limited pieces, so we don't want to lose any of our pieces. With that being said, they said, hey, it's your turn. They forced us to make a move. So what we did is we moved two pieces. We moved the protesters and the rioters. Both of these pieces are very important, and I do not promote rioting. I know that once you burn down the mom and pop store, it is very hard for that mom and pop store to build back up, which means mama big dollar business is coming in and mom and pop store can't come back. So therefore, no, I don't promote rioting, but it was a necessary evil. If that being said, we don't need it anymore. Get rid of the rioting. We don't need them anymore. But even with that being said, this piece is not going to leave the board, which is going to be very important in a second. So I'll come back to it. Going back to the protesters and the rioters, the reason we sacrificed this piece is because it needed to put holes in their defense, which they did. And since they have done that, we don't need that piece anymore. Since there are holes in their defense, and we know that there's holes in their defense because they moved other pieces up called the National Guard. The National Guard didn't come to fill in the holes. They came in to give back up to the pawns that were already on the board. Therefore, they still have holes in their defense. And this is where it is very important that we do this. We need to get our leaders, our thinkers, our people who know law up front. We need to give them the mic and say, hey, don't just say freedom, say this is how we get freedom. Don't just say equality, say this is what equality should look like. Don't just say justice, say this is how we should get justice. We need to put people on front who know about redlining. We need to put the people up front who know about reparations and all types of stuff. Just get them the mic, get them up front. That is very important, because when they're asking you, what is it you want? I want you to be able to give them a real answer. Don't just say ice cream. Say, I want ice cream with the works. I want an ice cream sundae. Just give them the works. With that being said, move our leaders up front. That's very important. We got to get the people who are actually talking about something up front on the mic, get them to, they're listening. So we got to give them to something to listen to, because when you're out there just saying nothing, they're not going to listen to that very much longer. Anyway, with that being said, when we're pushing the leaders up front, we're getting them behind enemy lines, which means we're getting them the mic, we're getting them to get people of power to listen. With that being said, we need to keep them on behind the enemy lines, and we need to keep the protesters up front. So this is why this is important. We had to get rid of the rioters because the only piece on the board that can get rid of the protesters are the rioters. They didn't leave the board. They just switched colors. The only thing that can stop the protesters are the rioters. They're going to use the rioters against the protesters, and we need those protesters on the front line holding the defensive line. At that point, then we can move another piece, which is all the people sitting at home who have a lot of money, who want to do something. They want to jump in. They can't because they don't want to be on the front line. They have a name. They have a business or whatever the case may be, but they feel empowered to want to do something in these times. Then we need to set up a way so that they're pushing money to bail people out, pushing money to get food to all these neighborhoods, getting water, getting lawyers. Like, there's all types of things that if we had money, it would be wheels to keep the protesters doing what they're doing, and that is very essential. We need to keep the protesters out front. As long as they're out front, they are going to listen, and we need to have people who they are listening to. This is all important. With that being said, Trump showed his hand. As a gamer, knowing that, when somebody starts button mashing, you kind of got him on the ropes. So I'm not going to say Trump is scared, but what I am going to say is that he showed his hand kind of early. So if Trump uses the military against us, this is his trump card. This is his trump card. So if he uses the military against us, if he loses his everlasting mind and he starts killing American citizens, which I really hope that he does not do, we have a trump card too. I know that we feel alone. I know that we feel like we're outgunned and outclassed, but we are not. If you take a good look, the whole world is on our side. The whole entire world. If we were to call for help, help would come. So hopefully our president does not do something so stupid that we lose all of America, because this thing only has three outcomes. Either one, we shut up, go back home, start clicking on our mouses and keep on buying. Or two, they listen to what we want, they give us what we want, and everything can go back to a new normalcy, a new beginning, a new way of doing this. This is what I'm hoping for. This will be the best outcome. Or part three, Trump loses his mind and a civil war starts, and that's the end of America. Because if you think about a civil war inside of America, that is going to be the most ugliest thing that this country could ever ask for. The line is too blurred. Who's on what side? What? It's just too much to even fathom, because it'd literally be like a purge. Everybody would be killing each other because nobody would know what line it is. Where's the line? The line is so blurred, it's impossible to know who's on whose side. So with that being said, I just want you guys to push the first objective, which is know what you're asking for. When they ask you, what do you want? Give them a real answer. Don't just say ice cream. Give them some flavors. Know that we need to be pushing our leaders out front. There's a lot of them. We need a lot of them in a lot of different places. We need to be bouncing the ideas off of each other. Like, I, for one, say that there needs to be a buffer on the streets. And yeah, when I first started this, I really wanted it to be like suited and booted, locked and loaded. Like somebody on the streets ready to fight the police. But that's really kind of stupid. I don't want more guns on the streets to stop death. That's not going to help. But when I was thinking about this, maybe we can take some of these defense attorneys who are sitting around in their offices and putting them on the streets. Just thinking about George Floyd, I'm just saying, if I had somebody to call and it was a defense attorney who was right around the corner, and he came up and he said, hey, sir, I am attorney such and such, and what you're doing is illegal, and I will personally prosecute you to the full extent of the law. I'm pretty sure Cuz would have took his knee off my man's neck. Just saying, we need to think of something to help us, because on both ends, that will help us. Having the defense attorneys on the streets will help us. They can say, hey, you don't have to say anything. That's helping us. They can help the cops to say, hey, that's illegal, or such and such. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to just bounce ideas off the wall, see what sticks. And that's pretty much where we all need to be, just throwing ideas off the wall, see what sticks. Because right now, when they just say, hey, what do you want? And we don't have an answer, that's not going to be good enough. So understand that we are playing this chess game. And I really hope that you guys listen to me. Push the objective. Know what we're asking for. Put our leaders out front. For those who have to stay home, give them away. Give them a show them a way, set up a website or whatever so that they can send the money to the right places. And understand that we are not alone. The whole world has our back. So, again, be safe out there. Just be safe.